Hello, everybody. Super excited to have you guys on today. We'll give everybody a few minutes to come on. Hello, everybody. Give me guys a few minutes to come on. We have our guest in. I think we're all straight. I know notifications have literally just gone out for everybody. So I'm super excited. All right. So welcome to the Power of Four, everybody. I'm super excited to have you guys on here. As you guys, if you're new to the Natural Woman platform, we have been doing the Power of Four series for the past 4 years. So this is year 4, and it's I like to do it around this time of year because we're about to head into the winter season, and it's all about renewing, sowing new seeds for the upcoming year, reevaluating this past year we've gone through. And so we put this platform together to give it tips, advice, give you that time to revamp, to renew. And it's so funny that this event always happens during the Mercury retrograde. And that's what all Mercury retrograde is about: renewing, revamping, reevaluating. So I'm super excited to have you guys on here. We do have the live chat happening right now. So if you got questions, we will have a Q&A session coming up. Make sure you type those in. We will get to your questions. Looks like we have people already lining up that's checking us out. Greetings, everybody. So I'm super excited to bring up our guest. This is a very powerful sister in my city of Cincinnati, Ohio. I'm going to introduce you guys to her and just share a little bit about her before we get into tonight's topic, which is all about the power of sisterhood, y'all. I don't know where I would be if it wasn't for my sisters, and I don't have any blood sisters, but I do have a lot of sisters, and they help and uplift me so much. I don't know where I would be without them. So the power of sisterhood is very, very powerful, and I'm super excited to share with you our guest. And she has a nice movement going on that's all about sisterhood. So I'm excited to share with you guys all about that. So we're bringing up Miss Shannon Anderson-Hammond. She is the founder of Yana. I hope I said that correctly. She is a native of Cincinnati, Ohio, 46 years old. And if you go to, I'm not going to read her whole paragraph, her whole biography, but if you go to the Natural Woman website and check out her, just a little bit about her, you will hear her testimony and her story, which is super powerful. But she started the group Yana for women to have a genuine, loving, compassionate support from girlfriends. That was the component that she felt was missing from her life. And this movement has inspired and uplifted women all over to face their struggles and to know that they're not dealing with it alone. So with further ado, I'm going to bring on our guest, add her to the stream. Hello.
Hi. That kind of took me off guard. How are you?
I'm doing great. I am doing great. No contractions right now. For everybody who don't know, I am expecting. I'm like literally 16 days from my due date. I've been having contractions all day, but they finally stopped. So I hope it's good. Even though I don't want them to stop, I wanted to get through this because this is like the only thing that my doctor approved that I could do on bed rest, because I'm not supposed to do nothing else but chill.
Okay.
So since I'm at home, in the comfort of my home, I got the okay to do this. So first off, I thank you so much for accepting the invitation to be a part of this platform.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
No problem. So before we get into tonight's topic, we'll be talking about the power of sisterhood. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and why you started Yana?
Well, I am a domestic violence survivor and a suicide attempt survivor. And I've always just felt like I wanted to have a good group of girlfriends, if not just a few girlfriends that I can just rely on and depend on, feeling like I'm not alone in whatever struggle that I was going through in life.
Yeah.
You just want to pick up the phone and just have that, that good girlfriend to be like, oh my God, I need to, have a conversation, or I need to just vent, I need to cry on somebody's shoulder, and just have that support system and that person be there for you genuinely. So I started the group Yana, which stands for You Are Not Alone, back in April of this year, actually.
Okay.
So it was something, it's Yana's Sister Love. So it's just giving women that platform to feel like they're not alone in whatever it is that they're dealing with.
Wow. That's really powerful, because domestic violence is something that is, I don't want to say taboo, but so many women go through it, and it's a lonely place,
It is.
because when you're going through it, you feel like nobody quite understands what you're going through.
Yeah.
And to be able to create a platform coming from that type of situation, I think is super powerful. So, how has sisterhood been empowering to you? Obviously, it helped lead you to creating what you've created, but give us a little bit of experience on how your sisterhood relationships have helped you.
Well, actually, the group is actually really empowering me, and it's inspiring me to really come out of my shell a little bit
All right.
and embrace women, because I was always kind of caught up in that, women, just being afraid to have new friendships and, meet new women and meet new people, and, just having that trust factor.
Right.
So it was like I had to really step outside of a box that I've kind of put myself in, because I'm like, oh my God, you see all these different women and the things that they go through, even if it's bad or if it's good, but it was still, you kind of, be fearful of putting yourself out there to be like, okay, I don't want no new friends. I don't want no new friends. So I had to kind of put myself out there to be like, okay, I'm gonna try this and see where it goes, because I knew that, we got a billion people on this planet. So I know every woman is not like that. There are some genuine, compassionate women that's like-minded, that wanted the same thing that I was looking for. So I felt like this movement that I'm creating is, I'm meeting those women that I was like always visualizing that was out there. So they're actually there, and they're really helping me to heal, to grow, to become the woman that I've always envisioned I wanted to be.
Wow. And you said something that's very true. Like, as women, especially when we get grown, it's hard for us to create, it's, I don't want to say grown. It's just really difficult for females to be
Females.
friends.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
so much jealousy. It seems like we are like programmed to be put against each other.
Yeah.
Um, how do you think we can overcome that or get past that?
I don't know. And I think it's an individual, it's individual, because we all deal with some type of, maybe some insecurities or things that we dealt
Right.
with in our own life.
Mhm.
So, it's probably, it's just based upon that individual person. And it's sad, and it's just sad, because it's like, you do come across where, if you're friends with people, you fall apart, you don't know why you fall apart. There could be some envy, there could be some jealousy, there could be some competitiveness, that you're not even aware of, but that's something that that other person has to deal with. And
Right.
that's something that you can't just take personally. So, I don't know how to overcome that, but it's a very hard thing to overcome. But like I said, it's all about the individual person.
Mm. So one thing I'm hearing is, in order to, I guess, receive all the great, wonderful, powerful benefits of, having a great sisterhood with a lot of sister friends. Because I'm gonna tell you guys, it's super, super powerful when you have a sisterhood of women that are like-minded, that's coming together, that's empowering each other. There's nothing more powerful than that. But in order to get to that point, it does require a lot of self work,
Self-work. Yes.
which is important.
Is very, very, very important. And that's one thing that I had to do for myself. And I'm still doing that. It's just a lot of, positive self-talk for myself, a lot of affirmations, a lot of reading,
Right.
um, you know, praying, a lot of praying,
Right,
and really just kind of keeping myself among positive people. Is when you kind of feel that energy is not aligning to what you're wanting in your life.
right.
It's like I kind of have to, shift myself away from that, because for me personally, I have to protect my mental state because of where I was before, as far as the domestic violence and then me attempting suicide. I suffer from depression and I have post-traumatic stress disorder. So for me, I have to really protect my energy and my mental state. So I really got to watch who I, correspond with, their energy. If it's not aligning with me, I got to be like, I got to kind of lean back, because that toxic environment or that toxic person is just, I can't deal with that.
Tell me, what are some of the self work modalities or tools that you had to do to help you get to this point?
Like I said, it was just I had to stop making excuses for myself. I had to stop making excuses, and stop blaming other people
Mm,
for, things that I not necessarily put myself in on purpose, but just, like, okay, let me just reevaluate. Is it me? I start journaling. I used to write poetry, so I will write things down as far as how I was feeling,
hmm.
and then just have to go back and revisit what I was writing and be like, man, like I was on some old, other stuff. Or just having those open and honest communications with people, because I want to have those open and honest communication with people to let me know if it's something that I'm doing. Please let me know so I can make the necessary steps to, improve on that and not keep doing the same things over and over again. But some people, they don't want to have those conversations because it's a hard thing to have, because they don't want to offend you, they don't want you to be mad at them. But me, it's like I want to have that because I want to grow into a better
Right,
person.
right. I'm the same way. I'm the same way. I'm like, if you see me effing up, I need to know.
I need to know. These streets looking real crazy. It's like,
Right,
don't just, and then be sitting behind my back talking about me, but then don't want to tell me in my face. I need for you to tell me in my face.
right, right. So I know this is not like the quite the Q&A question, but we did have a comment that kind of caught
Mhm.
my eye. Um, and it's from a Keebalon Mystic. I hope I said your name right. Thank you for tuning in. But you said the friends I've always had were always, I guess, compositional, envious, and jealous. Now, I have had that same type of situation with friends. I literally would say that I have probably three good friends that I can trust. And I know it's not any type of jealousy or envious, but throughout my whole life, I have experienced that same type of situation. What about women who attract those type of friends? What do you think about that?
I guess it's, like I said, it's to each its own. It's to
Right.
each its own. I mean, the type of, person that you are sometimes will be the type of people that you attract.
Mm,
I
yeah.
mean, just like, I don't really like using the word ratchet. But some, but if you're in that type of environment or you carry yourself that way, those are the type of people that you're going to attract, right?
Right.
So it's like you have to kind of outgrow that to be able to bring in the type of people that you want to help you to grow
Right.
into a flourishing woman or a flourishing person. So I want to be around positive, inspiring, people. I want to hear things. I want to have positive things in my news feed. I want to be able to,
Right.
feed my mind, soulful, purposeful things instead of negative things all the time.
Mhm. I remember one of my favorite documentaries is Beyonce's "Life Is But a Dream." I'm a big Beyonce fan. I know people look at me crazy, but I can't help it. Um, but she said something in a documentary that really just made me really look at my friendships. And she said that it's nothing like having a woman as a friend.
Mhm.
Or it's nobody will understand you as a woman more than another woman.
Right.
And so especially Black women, when we already deal with so much,
So much.
um the I guess the benefits of being able to have each other and understand, like, no, even our Black men don't understand what we have to go through. And so
Right.
breaking those barriers of whatever's out there that's keeping us from uniting with our sisters was really important. And that just really made me think, like, wow, nobody really could understand me as a woman other than the Black woman,
Hmm.
other than my friends, because we got the same situation. So I that really, really stuck to me. And just following some of the work that you've done over social media and things of that nature, that gave me the inspiration to say, okay, this is what we're going to talk about, the power of sisterhood, because this is something that's really, really needed now, especially with Black women leading the entrepreneurial force.
Yes.
We're in so many great places, and it's sometimes those high places can be very lonely. And so if you ain't got you need that sisterhood to have
Yeah.
your back. So tell us a little bit about Yana, some of the things that you guys do to keep each other empowered, and how did you find the group, if that makes sense?
Well, like I said, I'm always a transparent person on social media. So I've always talked about my own struggles, my own depression, my own domestic violence, survival story, if you want to call it that. So
Mhm.
I've always been that type of person that wanted to just put myself out there and tell my story in a transparent way.
Right.
So, I was kind of talking to one of my friends about it, and I was like, yeah, I want to do this group and da da da. And people always would tell me how inspiring I was. But, people tell you that all the time. And sometimes I just didn't believe it because I was always doubting myself. And I still do
Mhm.
sometimes. So it was like that self doubt. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to create this group and I'm just going to put it out there and see if, women want to join and we'll just take it from there. So I created it in April and then I started it. I put it out there on Facebook and it just took off. Like I have almost 200 women in my group.
Wow.
And it's a private group. So it gives women just that platform. If they want to vent, if they want to scream, if they want to talk about things that's near and dear to them or it's super confidential, they're going through maybe some mental health issues or domestic violence issues, or they might be going through issues with their grown kids, but they don't want to put it on their own social media page. They
Right.
just need that platform to be like, I need somebody to talk to.
Right.
And I really try to keep the group confidential. So I put this long list of rules in the group before people join to let them know that this is confidential. We're here to support each other. We're here to empower each other. And
Mhm.
we have formed friendships outside of that. So if, what we do is, on a monthly basis, I'll have like monthly meetings. So
Mhm.
we'll have different guest speakers come in. We'll talk about different topics. And then we'll have like a monthly fun event where we all go out and we just do something that we've never would have done, on our own or just with our own friends. So like we went golfing at Top Golf, or we'll go bowling. And then now we're going to Perfect North in January. And we get ready to go to an arcade game, just different things as a group together to have that bonding experience with each other and just, love on each other as sisters.
That's really powerful. And I love to see groups like that. Which brings me to this next question, because it's really crazy. It's been a lot of Facebook groups for empowering women coming up everywhere.
Yeah.
I've been a part of several, and it's this one particular group that, I think three well-known women empowerment, feminine, divine feminine, I don't want to say leaders, but specialists, we'll say specialists. They put this group together, brought so many women together. They had live streams where they had over 100 women checking in, so much powerful information. But then the group fell apart because of the leaders, because that jealousy, that envious, and that insecurity came in, because it's you got three different women, three different platforms, and you're trying to come together for the greater good. But then when you see that one person's getting more of this or more of that, it dismantled the whole thing. And so let's talk a little bit of, if you have any experience on how we can be happy for each other as women and all be successful. And even if one person is a bit more successful than you, for you to still be happy for that person, because that jealousy and envious thing, I don't even know where that starts or where that comes from, but that plagues us so much, and it can inhibit a lot of things that we go through.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. And I actually personally just experienced that. I mean, I'm more than happy for any woman, and I'll support, and I'm ride or die, I'll cheer you on and all that stuff. But then I felt like when it came time for me, then it was like crickets,
Right.
then it was like nothing. And then it was like you stop supporting, you stop attending my events, you stop liking my post. And, then it was like you just kind of ghosted, and it's like, what did I do? And then it kind of make you feel like it's something that you've done personally. So it was a hurtful thing knowing that, I, would always support, and I'm going to be there, and I'm going to always, cheer the other person on. But then it's like when it comes to me, and that's where the whole insecurity starts coming in, because it's like, oh my God, what did I do? And da, da, da. So I don't know where that whole jealousy stuff come from, but with my group, I'm the only one that's running the group. So it's not like I have 2 or 3 different people that's in the group that's running it and all that. It's all me.
Right.
But the platform is for all the women that's in there. So it's not just my group. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what I tell the women, is that we're all here to empower and inspire each other. And if it's something that you feel like you have a hard time with doing that, then this might not be the group for you. And I just rather you remove yourself from the group.
Right. Because I'm like, wow, how can we get to that? Everybody is Black girl magic, Black empowerment, but then when it happens, it's like,
I know. And then it's like it falls apart, and then friendships fall apart, and then you
right,
stop, you don't even speak to each other anymore. But then you have, and it's always, I always see the meme where it's like, more strangers, they support you more than your friends do,
right,
or they support celebrities, but they won't support the local, your local friends. And that's so true. And I'm experiencing that because, this is also new for me as far as my own thing and me finding my own purpose. So it's like, I'm just really finding out that, people are just not what they seem to be.
right. Okay, sorry if y'all hearing background noise. My 2-year-old, so he's getting regulated right now. So yeah, and that's something that I have had to deal with just with the Natural Woman platform. I can't tell you how many women have joined the platform and then had to leave the platform, or close friends or people I thought that were friends now who don't even share or won't even help promote. And I always figure,
Yes.
like, why is, like, it seems like the more that we work with each other, for example, if I see another woman, for example, yourself, doing a lot of great things, I love to invite women like that to my platform.
Right.
Because that shows the example of how we should be empowering each other and uplifting each other,
Mm-hmm.
not expecting anything back in return, but
Right.
we have to be able to help lift each other up. It's like it could be a ladder effect eventually. And so I just think that it just gets so crazy how it's so much division, especially when it comes to Black women being
Black
successful,
women. Mm-hmm.
which leads me to the media. How do you think the media affects or adds to this lack of sisterhood we deal with within our community?
You mean like social media or
Social
just
media or television, TV shows, music, shoot, the shade room. I'd be like, oh gosh, this stuff is crazy.
it's almost like they promote that, it's almost like it's the thing to do,
Mm-hmm.
it's like, okay, first they riding for you and all that, but then when you really start climbing up and then they start really seeing you making those moves, it's like then they want to shade you, or then they want to, like,
Yeah.
dog you out and then make it a negative thing. And then it's like, okay, wait a minute. Just a few months ago, You was like, yes, go ahead, girl. I'm behind you. I'm gonna support you. I'm a this, I'm a that. And then it's like when people start liking your stuff and sharing, and then they're seeing all these comments and stuff, it's like, I don't know. It's just weird. It's just weird how this whole social media and TV and music and all that stuff
Mm,
plays in this. And sometimes, social media is it has a negative effect on people's mental health too, you
which,
know?
yeah, it really does, which is another thing that we should touch on, mental health. Because
Yeah.
I proclaim it like I have a therapist. And
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
say everybody needs to get one because it's
Yeah.
so beneficial. I look forward to every Thursday when we go meet up. Um, like I'm gonna be calling her even if I'm in on Thursday. Like,
Yeah.
we need to link up. Um, how like I really do think that the jealousy and envy that a lot of women have towards each other, especially Black women, is a mental health thing. I really do think that it is a mental health
Mhm.
thing, and being able to seek. And I think the biggest thing is, and we talked about this earlier, is doing that self work.
Yes.
That self work is key, because when you get your self work done, because at the end of the day, if you're a person that's jealous of another person, it ain't the other person's fault that you jealous.
That's right.
It's something in you that's making you jealous.
Hmm.
And if you really, if you want to get meaningful relationships with the women that are surround you, or to have meaningful relationships with women, you got to get past what your problem is.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and I always advocate like mental health therapy can help you
Hmm.
get to that. Even if you don't like to call it mental health therapy, hell, get a life coach. Get
Get a life coach.
somebody
Yeah. Something. Yep.
that can help you try to figure out what is really going on.
Yeah.
So you shared a little bit about your domestic violence story. Do you feel open of just sharing a little bit with us that
Sure.
situation?
Yeah, I was actually 19. Just had I graduated high school and moved out of my mom's house and moved to Dayton. My dad lives in Dayton, so I was going to live there to try to rekindle a relationship with him because he had divorced my mom when I was 7.
Okay.
So it had been a long time since I seen him. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go up here, rekindle this relationship, and see what it do. And
Mm-hmm.
then I met my son's father, fell in love, and I'm like, oh my God, this is it. And he was a dope boy. I'm like, I was a homebody. I was,
Right.
I wasn't out there in the streets. I didn't go out to parties or anything like that when I was growing up. So it was like this guy showed me a whole different world. And then I'm by myself. I'm, grown. I'm thinking. So, got pregnant and, he just changed. He just changed. It was, first the kind of controlling thing, just I can't look at another guy because of,
Mm-hmm.
you mind and all this old stuff. And, I'm young and I'm like, okay, he loved me and he this and, he looking out for me and he want me out to himself. And you think it's cute.
Right.
I'm thinking like, okay, this guy really liked me. So, I got pregnant and it just became, first like mental and emotional. Um, and he used to talk about how big my nose was. And then I had like buck teeth and he would just kind of talk about my teeth, but was saying it like in a joking way, but then just kept saying it. And it was like really drilling in me, my self-conscious, my self-worth was going down. And I'm just like, oh my God, I'm so ugly. And I started thinking that to myself because of all the things that he was saying to me. And it just became more and more emotional and mental, and then it became physical. I was in a relationship for like 5 years, and then I
Oh,
finally, yeah, and then I finally left when my son was 3, and left the house and grabbed my son, came back to Cincinnati, and my mom and my sister, they put me on a Greyhound bus and sent me away to California to go live with my uncle because it had got really bad. Like he had beat me up in front of my mother,
mm,
and they kind of knew what was going on, but I was going back and forth. I was come here to Cincinnati and then he would come and get me, or he would call and try to work it out. And I'm like, okay, Ma, he wants to work it out. We got a baby, you know, I want to make it work for our family. So I was in that type of mind state because I wanted to have this quote unquote perfect ideal family because I never had that, you
Mhm.
know. So it was just this fairy tale that I had brewed up in my head. So yeah, it was for about 5 years, and then another probably about 5 or 6 years. It was a lot of going back and forth to court, custody of my son, and all that, mental abuse, emotional, and then I got with another guy after that, and then got married. So it was just like,
Okay.
but it wasn't physical abuse. It was more like kind of mental, emotional abuse.
Mhm.
So, you know, got with him, and it was just my self-esteem was super low at that time. But then I was working, and then I became a stripper, and then I was
Mhm.
dancing, you know, and my husband was like my manager, you know, on the side, you know, we
Okay.
making money and, you know, this, and that. And then it was just, I was just all over the place. So my self-esteem was just shot, you know, it was shot for a very long time. So when I say that, when I probably got into my late 20s, um, early 30s, that was when I was like, okay, I need to like really reevaluate what's going on in my life because I don't want to continue to live like this. And
Right.
I really did not want my son seeing me like that, you know, because my son would see me crying. You
Right.
know, I'm just like, this is not the way that I want my son to, you know, see that a woman needs to be treated this way, you know,
Mm.
because I didn't want him growing up thinking that that was the way that you're supposed to treat a woman, because I know he's going to be grown, he's going to get married, he's going to have his own kids. So it's like I had to think about him, you
Mm.
know, I had to think about him. So yeah, but now I'm remarried, been married for 11 years. We've been together for 13 years, and it's great. My husband is super, super, super supportive of everything that I'm doing. I mean, he's just great. He's just amazing.
That's awesome. Wow. So I just learned some things about you I never knew before.
Mhm. Yes.
So I always tell people, I say, well, that sounds like a nice Netflix series. Let's get together and write it and go down to Tyler Perry Studios.
Hey, let's go. Let's go. I'm ready. And you know, and I started writing a book.
Hmm.
So I started writing, but it's so hard trying to put all them thoughts on paper.
Right. Yeah.
It's like, okay, I'm writing, and then I'm like, okay, let me put this aside. And then I have to go back to it like 3 or 4 days later because
Mhm.
it's so much. But
Right.
yeah, it is a lot to, you know, to kind of relive. And sometimes a lot of that stuff is like, it really takes you back to a space where you thought that you got over. And
Hmm.
then when you're trying to relive all of that, it's like, okay, let me just sit back and really sit still in this moment to see what I need to
Right.
do to get it all out.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
I've experienced domestic violence, physical domestic violence when I was 18. I got back with my first high school boyfriend. He was 23 at the time. I was 18, and it only lasted 3 months. And it was because the power of sisterhood, not so much friends, but my aunts and my
Hmm.
grandma, which also adds to your sisterhood, ladies.
Yes.
Don't
Yes.
just sit there and be limited and think it's just friends, but
Just
you got
friends.
cousins, you got sisters, you got your mothers, all that is like that sisterhood thing. And if it wasn't for them continuing to love me more than I was loving myself,
Hmm.
no telling where I would be. Because in that 3 months, I was choked, beat up, all kinds of things.
Hmm. Yeah.
And it's crazy because the cycle of domestic violence, um, I always, watching, for instance, the Tina Turner story, could never understand why Tina would never leave. Like, why she staying into that situation? I could never get it until I was in a situation myself. And
Yeah.
it's like you're under this spell.
Yes.
It's like you're under a spell, like where you're the victim, but you feel sorry for your oppressor.
Right.
You feel bad for them, and it kind of creates this cycle where you don't want to leave. And it just so happens to help me get out of my situation. One of my aunts, who I have seen my entire life be abused by an uncle, who was currently, like, she was in a domestic violence relationship for about 20 years already.
Mm.
And when she heard that I was in a situation, all it took her to tell me was, do you want to be me in 20 years?
Wow.
And just from her saying that, I just had a flashback of me growing up, seeing the bloody noses, seeing her dragged down the steps,
Yeah.
seeing her being abused by my uncle, and had to think like, wow, I'm leading in her footsteps. I need to make some changes. And that was the thing that pulled me up, and I'm ever so grateful. And it's crazy, she's still in a relationship with him to this day.
No.
Yes, but it was that conversation, like, she pulled me up out of it,
Yeah.
and I'm always forever grateful of, in the relationships of the women that you have around you,
Yeah.
especially in any situation that you go through, especially domestic violent relationships, because sometimes they don't end, like, for instance,
Like that.
we can get out.
Yes.
Some women are dead
Are
right now,
dead. Mm-hmm.
or in jail because they done snapped and murdered somebody.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's super important for us to be able to be there for each other and to uplift each other and get out of that superficial, I'm jealous, that's your business, that type of thing. Because at the end of the day, all we have is each other.
Right.
You
Right.
know?
Yeah, and it's very hard to get out of, and it was very hard for me to get out of it. I mean, I kept going back. I would leave, I would go back, and that's because it was like, oh, I'm sorry, and then they look so pathetic and so cute and all that, and they bring in and they crying and promise they never do it again, and then it's like it's good for a week or two, and then the moment you say something that's out of line in their eyes is you're getting smacked or
Right.
choked or you getting punched. And it's been plenty of times I had to go to work with makeup on or, covering my neck or, my shoulders or my arms or, whatever, because I was being, kicked or, punched and all that. And it was really, really, really hard. And and when I saw my son, I think that last straw was when I saw my son. He's 3 years old and he's just screaming, daddy, no, daddy, no. And he's like standing there watching that. And I'm just like, and something inside it just clicked. And I'm just like, okay, I'm at work. I'm sitting here. I'm so depressed. I was ready to kill myself. And I'm just like, I kept thinking about my son. I'm like, I'm leaving. This is it. And I called my grandmother, and I'm like, I'm coming back. I need to get out of this. I'm on my way. And they like, come on. I didn't have no clothes with me. I just got my son out of daycare and I was like, I'm on my way. Came up here. My sister and them had a plan for me. Like you said, sisterhood. My mom and my sister, they was just like, we got to get her out of here. And they called my uncle in California and they sent me on my way, me and my son, or one way on a Greyhound bus, with just a little bit of clothes on our back. And, it's like, I can't do that anymore. I cannot do that. And I told my son, I will protect you. And I can't have you seeing that and thinking that that's cool to be in that, because I did not, because there's no telling where I would be. I could be dead, or I could be in jail or, still in that abusive relationship. My son is
Right.
26. It's like, that'd be 26 years of me being in a relationship,
Right.
So yeah, I knew that it had to be something more for my life and for my son. So he was my main priority.
It's kind of like he was your guardian angel.
He was definitely,
Yeah.
most definitely. And they don't even have a relationship because he was becoming mentally and emotionally abusive with him,
Mm.
because he would have to go up there for supervise, like not supervised, but visitation and all that. And then when my son come back, it was like the things that he was telling me, especially as he started getting older, he could make his own decisions if he wanted to go up there or not. And he was just like, I'm good. Like, he being mean or he's like, dogging me out up there, making it like it's all my fault for leaving.
Mm-hmm.
My son like, no, this is like, so I knew he was a narcissist and he's a master manipulator. So it was like, and I never dogged him in front of my son. I'm like, you have to see for yourself. You got to make those determining factors for yourself and make that judgment call if you want to continue to have that relationship or not. And they do not have a relationship at all.
Mm.
At
Wow.
all. Yeah. Yeah.
That's how it goes. I'm telling you guys, mental health therapy
Yep.
is something that we all have to take seriously, especially that narcissist. That should be a whole topic within itself.
Sure should.
I got I got a whole stack of books
Yes.
for you.
Yeah.
So that, wow, that's a very, and I thank you for sharing that.
No problem.
Just because I know it's women out there who may be going through a situation similar or know of somebody that's going through a situation similar. And, you know, as sisters, friends, or whatever, I think we all have a responsibility to not turn our heads or not close our mouths and not say nothing, but at least say something. Let you know, to let the person know that, yo, I care. This isn't right. You got somebody here for you. I know my best friend, I hope she ain't watching, I ain't gonna tell her business, but she was just in that particular situation. And luckily for her, it probably lasted about a month. But, you know, I couldn't get down there to her because she lives in a different state, but I was calling her sisters. I was calling like, yo, somebody need to get down there and go get her. I don't care if she's screaming or what.
Yeah.
But, you know, this isn't good. And I felt like that was my responsibility as her friend to say something because I couldn't live with myself if something happened to her.
Yes. Yes. That consciousness. And that's the thing. It's like, I'm going to be there. Somebody called me in the middle of the night. I'm there. You know, it's like if my girlfriend need me or if she's, you know, feeling any kind of way, I'm there. And I think that's just how I am as a person. I'm going to always be there. Even if they felt, you know, like I can't live anymore or I feel hopeless or, you know, I feel like I'm not worthy of anything. Even though sometimes I feel that way, you know, I don't really have a particular person that I could be like, I could call in the middle of the night or, I mean, I talk to my husband and I do have one girlfriend that I do call, but sometimes you don't even want to bother them with that type of stuff. You know, it's like you want to be so strong where you want to carry all of your own stuff, but then you want to be that person for everybody else. And, you know, and I feel like that's my duty, especially with my group as well. In the Yana group, I have to be that strong friend for everybody. And I'm cool with that. I have no problem with that. And I know they always say, check on your strong friend. Check on your strong friend, you know, and it's like, yeah, I mean, sometimes it's cool, you know, check on me, but I love checking on others. I love checking on my friends.
Right.
You know, it could be, I could just be thinking about them and I'll just text them. I'll be at a stoplight and I just think about them like, hey, I'm just checking on you. You came across my mind. A lot of people need that. A lot of people want that.
Right. So true. That is so true. And I do the same thing. Actually, as soon as this is over, I got to call one of my friends because she's in my mind all day today. And I text her like, hey, everything going good? And she just like, girl, you just don't know. Like, I'm about to call you as soon as this is over because, you know, we got to be there for each other because we're all connected to each other. So we're at the little bit past the halfway mark. And I do want to leave some room for anybody that has any questions.
Okay.
You can leave them in the comment. We did have a few comments, I guess, as we were talking. I guess we talked about domestic violence and things in the Facebook competitions with the group. She has been interacting with us and sharing her comments. And I guess she has also experienced domestic violence, I guess, with her father and mother. I'm not sure, but she said she made a vow to herself that would never be her. And that's it. Oh, she watched her mother go through the same thing. And she made a vow to herself that would never be her. Which is super sad. So we're going to just leave this open. If you got any questions or comments or anything like that, make sure you comment in the section. We are checking out the comments. And if you haven't already, make sure you download the Natural Woman Magazine app. We have our newest magazine issue that features an exclusive interview with Mr. David Banner. He talked about a lot of great things, including his relationship with India Ari. So make sure you go check that out.
Okay.
I was glad he gave us a little something regarding that. So make sure you download the app and check that out. As we're wrapping up our conversation, we're talking with Shannon Hammond Anderson, and she is a phenomenal woman, the founder of Yana. It's very refreshing to have this type of conversation and to actually speak with somebody that's genuinely wanting to uplift their sisters with no ulterior motives, as far as, you know, wanting to make a name for yourself, or wanting, a lot of people want to start groups and be empowerment teachers just to make money.
Mm-mm.
You know, it's very rare that you find people who genuinely, you know, have gone through the fire and want to be able to help other women climb up out of it. Like, let's go through the fire. Let's get out of this together.
Yes.
You know, and still be able to say, I'm still going through my shit too.
Yep.
And we gonna do this together.
We're going to do this together. Yep. And that's the thing. We're going to walk this journey together, because I still struggle. There's nothing, I don't sugarcoat anything about what I go through, what I feel. I put out there what's on my heart, what's on my mind, you know, and, you know, I'm just like anybody else, you know, that, you know, I just want to heal, you know, I just want to grow. I want to be able to inspire and empower women and just keep that movement going. Right. And that was another thing too, why I wanted to do this, because I've been to like women empowerment conferences, and, you know, and it's really great to go to those conferences, but then it's like after the conference is over, you never hear anything about it, or you never, you know, there's no follow-up, or there's nothing, you know, after the fact. Right. So I feel like with the Yana group, it's like that continuous women empowerment, you know, conference, like all the time. So it's like, you know, women can just, you know, feel free to say, and it's not just about the speaker. It's about the attendees. It's about the people that's there that want to be present, you know, and they can put their, you know, voice and their spin on whatever it is that they want to see, or whatever it is they want to talk about, or whatever meetings that they want to, you know, have, you know, in the upcoming months. So, and then on that, it's like at the end of December, we're going to have a release party. So I have the ladies. Yeah. So I have the ladies writing an assignment. So just a half a sheet of paper of anything that's keeping them kind of held in bondage, or keeping them stuck, or something that they want to release that happened to them either this year or just period, that they want to release and, you know, go into 2020 with a clear, positive spirit. So we're going to have this release party where we're going to be at this house in Amberley Village. We're going to have wine, and, you know, we're going to just bond, you know, as women. And then we're going to go around this fire pit, and we're going to just read off of their paper what they wrote. And then they're going to throw it in a fire pit, and they're going to release that. And that's just going to be part of that healing process for them.
That's powerful. That's interesting. That's what we do when we do our full moon rituals.
Hey,
that's exactly what we do.
Yes.
We did one on Friday the 13th, which I call the Goddess Day. But that was like my first time bringing a group of women together and doing that. And it was so weird, because I really did feel that just the spiritual realm, the universe supported all of us at that moment. Like, doing things like that with other women, although it's great for us, it's powerful for the world to be able to experience that, because we're in a time where that divine feminine is coming out, where it's definitely time for women to start tapping into their spiritual power, tapping into their purpose, and start living that on this planet. Because I tell people all the time, and this is one of the reasons why I started the magazine movement, is the world is in such chaos because women have not taken their rightful place. We are the healers, we are the nurturers. We have a responsibility over life because we bring life into this world.
That's right.
And as long as we're not in that space, you know, we're never going to see the balance. And so when women take the time to do work on ourselves to release, something powerful happens. So I definitely do know in December when y'all do that, you're going to feel a certain kind of energy in the air. It's going to give y'all goosebumps because it's going to be like, whoa, we just shifted something. And I know I just experienced that when we did it last month, and I was like, wow, like, okay, I feel it. So that's powerful. We did have a question from Nicole Cooper. She says, what are some of the things that you did to help you get out of being less friendly with other women?
Less
friendly.
Less friendly?
Mm-hmm.
I've always been friendly. I think I've always been friendly. I guess I'm kind of confused on the question. Less friendly?
Yeah, I think she kind of means like, what are some of the things that helped you, I guess, getting out of that mode? I guess how some women can be standoffish to other women and hard for you to open up.
Okay. Yeah. So I think for me, like when I think in the beginning of the conversation, when I was saying, you know, how we always say, I don't want no new friends, and you just kind of like close yourself off. I think with me starting the group, I just had to, that's just like when you're getting ready to like start to lose weight. It's baby steps, right? And it's like it takes 21 days to create that habit. So it's like I had to just keep talking to myself that positive affirmations, and I'm just like, I can't, you know, I gotta live outside of my box. I gotta get outside of that comfort zone, you know. So it was like I just had to just do it, just like Nike. I just had to do it.
Right.
I just had to do it. And it was like, I'm not saying that I'm 100% like trusting people, but it's just the first steps of being like, okay, I'm receptive to bringing new people into my space. But then you still have to be protective over your space.
Exactly. And another thing too, like we said, that self-work is key. Once you start doing that self-work, you're going to start attracting the right type of people.
The right type of people. Yep.
Yeah. And those wrong people going to fall off.
They falling off. Oh my God. It's so, and that's a hard thing for me to really kind of still like accept.
Right.
Because I'm so used to the other people that was in my life. I want them to be around while I'm going through this, and I want them to experience that too. But I know they always say, you know, there's a season for everything. There's a reason and a season. And, you know, God is going to take you to places where a lot of people can't go. So I get that confirmation all the time. And I have to just kind of be like, oh, okay. I got to receive it. I got to be open with that. But it's still a heart, because you're still human.
Right.
You know, my heart still hurts. And I'm just like, oh my God, because you're so used to those people, you know, y'all hanging out, y'all laughing, y'all doing this, y'all on the phone, and you don't have that anymore.
Right.
So it's like, okay, now it's a new chapter. So I gotta close that chapter and, you know, be cool with those memories and then just move on. But then use that as a learning experience.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay. And Nicole said thank you. So I guess we did answer her question.
Good deal.
Good job. All right. So we have a few minutes left in our series for today. So Shannon, tell us where we can learn more information about you, about Yana. Is it just for women in Cincinnati, or could other women join your Facebook group and things?
Anybody. Yeah, anybody can join, but I do have a website. So it's yanasistalove.com. So YANASISTAHLOVE.com. So they can go on there and they can just kind of see some of the events that we've had. It talks a little bit about what the group entails. And then I have a contact form. So if people are interested and they want to be a part of the group, they can contact me through the website, and it goes to my email address. And then, like I said, the Facebook group, it's a private group. So you have to be invited to the group. So we have to be friends on Facebook. Because I just want to make sure that people are not just in there, just kind of being nosy or just kind of hanging out and want to do screenshot, you know, but I can't really monitor that piece of it. So I have to, and this is another thing, I have to be trustworthy of that, and be like, okay, I'm bringing in the right people that want to be a part of this group. So you got to have the right intentions on wanting to be a part of the group. But yeah, they can contact me through that. And I do have a open Facebook group page. It's just Yana Sister Love. It's just a basic page. And then the secret group is for the women that actually has to be invited to that group.
Awesome. So yeah, don't be trying to get in a group and you messy. We ain't ready for that. We still got work to do.
No. Yeah. I think when I first started it, there was a couple of people that was kind of on some messy stuff that I was hearing about, and they was like, "Yeah, somebody screenshotted this and told me, and and I'm just not comfortable with telling my story." And I'm just like, okay, they gotta go. You know what I mean? Because we're not about that life. It's like we trying to overcome all of that other stuff.
Right.
We trying to go to a different level with our growth process.
Right.
So all that other stuff, this ain't about that. Y'all, there's groups that probably is like that, but this ain't that group.
Right.
Yeah, we're about healing for sure.
Yeah, because our healing is essential, especially in today's day.
In today's days, yeah, for sure.
Healing is key. And healing is a loner type thing, but when you got people around you doing the same thing, it's always great to have that support. So thank you guys so much. I hope I did spell it right. I did put your website.
Yana, not Yana Sisterhood.
Wait, hold on, let me fix it.
So it's YANA, and then SISTAH.
Okay.
LOVE.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Right. Y'all Sisterhood. I like that though.
All right, this is
there it is.
Make sure y'all go check that out. Support the movement. Because it's a billion people on this planet.
That's right.
And it's going to require all of us to get past ourselves to do what our life mission is. Our purpose here on this planet, and that's to help uplift each other, to raise the vibration of our planet, so we can have a heaven on earth, because I do believe that's possible. But in order for that to happen, we got to live it within ourselves, and when we live it within ourselves, that light spreads.
Yes.
All right. So I really thank you so much for being a part of this stream tonight, kicking off the Power of 4. I'm glad I didn't go into labor. I was so nervous today.
Glad you did.
So I thank you all who have tuned in. This stream will be up for the remainder of the week. It'll be up on our YouTube channel as well on our website, and we will be emailing it out to the platform. So make sure you guys tune in tomorrow. We will be talking about your authentic self, the power in being your authentic self. So we're going to get just really, really deep. I'm super excited about this whole week and all of our speakers that we have coming up. Shannon, thank you so much. You're such a beautiful soul.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You and continue. You got my full support in your work, and continue to help as many women as possible heal and shed and release.
Yes.
And all that great stuff.
Absolutely.
And make sure you guys download the Natural Woman Magazine app. Visit our website at www.asnaturalwoman.com. But that concludes the Power of 4 tonight, the power of sisterhood. I hope you guys got something from this conversation. Please share this with a friend. They want the magazine link. I will add that on here. And know that it's okay to help your sister. No matter who she is, if she related to you or not, nobody can understand us better than another woman. Yeah. And that ain't nothing homosexual about it at all. It's just we feel different. We have different experiences, but we can understand each other.
We can relate. Absolutely.
And so that's super duper powerful. All right. So I added the link to the magazine. Make sure you download the app, check out that magazine issue, and we will be back here again tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hopefully I'm not in the hospital, but we're going to be back here with our next guest. And I just wish you all a good evening. Thank you for checking us out.
Thank you so much. Bye.